Hi, I'm Elena Aneres. Welcome to my tiny world of fairy tales and treasures. Let me tell you a story that drifted to me on a soft breeze. The Girl Who Found the Secret of the Moon, a full-length original fairy tale by Elena Aneres. Long ago, in a time before cities reached the sky and stars were counted by machines, there lived a girl named Elena Aneres. Her village lay hidden between two ancient hills, where trees whispered in a language only the wind could understand. People there feared the night. They locked their doors as the sun dipped low and whispered stories of shadows that moved without bodies, of voices in the wind, and of the moon's light that could steal your dreams. But Elena had never been afraid of the moon. Even as a child, when other children hid under their blankets, Elena would sneak to the window, her breath fogging the glass as she stared at the silver orb above. She swore it shimmered brighter when she looked. Her grandmother had once caught her outside at night, barefoot in the grass, arms stretched wide to the stars. "Elena," she'd whispered, wrapping her in a blanket, "you were born during a moonstorm. The sky raged, but the moon stood still. I think it marked you." By the time she turned 15, Elena had become a quiet girl, thoughtful and strange. The other villagers avoided her gentle eyes and star pendant necklace. She didn't mind. Every night, while the village snored behind shuttered windows, she climbed the Hill of Whispers, the only place the moonlight seemed to touch the earth like a kiss. There, she'd sit in the tall, glowing grass and speak. Not to people, to the moon. Not with questions, but with kindness. "I hope you're not lonely up there," she'd say. "I think you remember things that we've forgotten." Sometimes she'd sing to it. Other times, she'd just listen. And slowly, silently, the moon began to listen back. On the night of her 15th moonrise, everything changed. The moon didn't just glow, it blazed, casting silvery beams like ladders down from the sky. The wind stilled, the crickets hushed, and in the silence, a voice bloomed in her chest, not heard but felt. "Come, child of stardust, the time has come." The next morning, Elena woke as if from a dream. Yet beneath her fingertips was something real, a small stone shaped like a teardrop, cool and glowing faintly blue. When she touched it, her vision split open. A silver door hovered in darkness. Behind it, stars churned like waves. A soft hum surrounded everything, sorrowful and beautiful. And then it was gone. Shaken but certain, Elena knew what it meant. The moon had chosen her. That night, heart pounding and hands trembling, she returned to the hill. The grass shimmered under her feet. The beams of moonlight gathered again, swirling and weaving until they formed a glowing path of glass that led straight into the sky. She took a step, then another, and slowly she began to rise. The world below faded into mist. The stars around her pulsed like living things. One looked at her, not with eyes but with knowing, and whispered a lullaby made of light. Higher and higher she climbed. Her body felt weightless. Her thoughts slowed, then sharpened. The only sound was her own breath and the steady hum of the universe, like the heartbeat of something ancient. At last, she reached the silver door from her vision. It had no handle, no hinge. Yet as she placed her palm to it, it opened like silk parting. A voice echoed, "You may not return the same. Do you accept the price of knowing?" Elena stood still for a long moment. Then she nodded. Inside was not the surface of the moon, but a vast floating library. Thousands of books hovered in the air like birds mid-flight. Their pages glowed softly, fluttering with invisible wind. There were scrolls made of stardust, globes showing dreams in real time. Statues wept silver tears into bowls of glowing ink. In the center stood a being, neither man nor woman, wrapped in layers of moonlight. Its face was hidden, but Elena felt no fear, only awe. "I am the guardian of lunar truth," it said. "And you, Elena, are the first to come in many centuries." It led her past floating lanterns and constellations made of thread. As they walked, the guardian spoke. "The moon does not simply shine," it said. "It remembers. Every dream whispered into the night, every forgotten lullaby, every story left untold, they live here. But the moon is growing weary. The weight of memory is too great." They stopped before a great mirror that rippled like water. "You must become the keeper of dreams. But first, you must face the trial of light." Elena stepped into the mirror. Immediately, she was surrounded by herself, but not just her reflection. Her fears, her memories, her deepest doubts. She saw herself as a child, crying alone when the other kids ran away from her. She heard whispers, too strange, too quiet, not one of us. She saw herself running from the village after her mother's funeral, barefoot and lost. But this time, she didn't flinch. She walked to each version of herself, held their faces gently, and whispered, "You are not broken. You are becoming." Tears spilled from their eyes and hers. The mirror began to glow. The pain did not disappear, but it softened. It transformed. The guardian reappeared. In its hand was a silver mark shaped like a crescent. "You have passed," it said. "You carry now the dreams of the world. Guard them well." The mark floated to her forehead, and when it touched, warmth flooded her soul. 1,000 voices, young and old, human and not, echoed in her mind. Not words, but hopes, wishes, fragments of songs. Elena wept, but not from sadness, from wonder. She descended the glass path just before dawn. To the villagers, nothing seemed different, but they felt it. Children who once woke screaming from nightmares now slept peacefully after hearing Elena hum outside their windows. Flowers that had long stopped blooming reopened under her touch. Even the old trees near the well leaned closer when she walked by, their leaves rustling a little softer. They began to call her the moon's whisperer, and still, every night, Elena climbed the hill. Not to speak, but to listen. Now, dear listener, if ever you find yourself awake beneath a silver sky, whisper. Not in fear, but in hope. For somewhere high above or deep within, a girl with stars in her eyes and dreams in her hands is listening. And the moon, it smiles brighter because it is no longer alone.